Today is not about denying pain. And it's not about pretending that the pressure that you're having isn't real. Like, not really happening. That was I love to do that. For some reason in the past, that was my thing. It's like I would push it down and pretend it's not there. And then I was thinking I was dealing with it. And then maybe like a couple years later, it would pop up and smack me in the face. Oh, you didn't deal with that. Right? It's not about pretending it's not real. It's not about denying what you're in. And it's definitely never about blaming yourself for everything that's ever gone wrong. So we're on this emotional resilience month, right? And I've seen people really have to implement, because I know this word this year is implement. There's lots we've learned. There's lots of ways we've grown and are growing. And it's so essential to actually put that into our life, into our nervous system, into our hearts, so that we actually just function in that automatically. That's what mastery is all about. And I love to teach mastery here. And the way we really explain, how do you know that you've reached mastery? How do you actually know that you've achieved that? It's like tying your shoes. When you're little, you think, okay, bunny ear, hop around, and then you figure out how to tie, and it takes you a really long time, and it might even take you 4, 5, 6 tries. Sometimes you need to have somebody come and help you, all those things. And then you practice, and you do it more and more. And then now, if I want to tie my shoe, I don't even need to look at my shoe. I can just do it while talking to you all, right? That's what mastery is. You all likely have mastered tying your shoes, right? Okay, so we teach mastery here. And the way to do that is to practice it. Just like you had to tie your shoes over and over again to be able to master it, to be able to do it without thinking. The same thing in martial arts. They'll have you do the same. If you've seen Karate Kid, that's really the way they do it. I did quite a stint of martial arts, and you go through your forms and your punches, and you do them over and over again, so that when your teenage daughter who wants to practice sparring comes by, you just automatically grab that punch, grab that smack, and because it's just automatic, it comes out of you. And so that's what I really want to see with you guys. And I just feel like the world is giving us just so many opportunities to practice right now. Really, honestly. And so I can't wait to share with you just what was on my heart. What's on my heart is something one of my teachers taught me maybe 3 years ago-ish. So I want to talk to you about trust and total responsibility. Trust and total responsibility. I think there's a book by Jocko, I forgot his full name, but it's Extreme Ownership. And it is such a powerful book. Some of the concepts in there are really amazing. So here's the thing. I want to start about what today is and is not, right? Today is not about denying pain. And it's not about pretending that the pressure that you're having isn't real. Not really happening. That was I love to do that. For some reason in the past, that was my thing. It's like I would push it down and pretend it's not there. And then I was thinking I was dealing with it. And then maybe like a couple years later, it would pop up and smack me in the face. Oh, you didn't deal with that. Right? It's not about pretending it's not real. It's not about denying what you're in. And it's definitely never about blaming yourself for everything that's ever gone wrong. It's about learning to operate in power, because the quality of your life is determined about the level of responsibility you're willing to take for your responses. Yeah, things happen to you. Stuff can happen. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. This room is full of incredibly capable people who produce, people who show up, people who will show up from Dubai, for crying out loud, when they're on a vacation. They'll show up. That's awesome. These are people in this room who know how to carry the weight. And here's the paradox. The more capable you are, the more easy it is to give your own power away. And today is about taking that power back. And so I want to start with a fundamental principle, and it's trust. Trust is not a feeling. Catch that, because a lot of times we think it is. Trust is not a feeling. It's actually like currency. And what I mean by that is each person that you run into in your life, you got Eunice and Dan and Andrew and Eliza and Candace and Tammy, everybody who's here, right, is a relationship that you have, and each one has its own trust bank account. And so the way trust works is most people start with an average amount in their bank account and a little bit here, and then it can build over time. And trust is also, I would say, by category. You might trust your financial advisor with your finances, but not trust them with your marriage. It's by category. I wouldn't say that you would give your full trust depending on the different context and how much has been put into the trust bank account. It's that medium of exchange in every relationship, whether it's personal, professional, leadership, and it's the relationship you have with yourself. A lot of times we break trust with our own selves. And most relationships don't just start at neutral. They usually start with a small deposit. We usually give people like a benefit of the doubt. So let me describe this. From there, trust is either deposited or withdrawn through behavior. Deposits could be like keeping your word. And I mean keeping your word to yourself. Not just to others, but to yourself. Or telling the truth to yourself and to others. Showing up consistently, which you guys do. I love it. That builds trust in your own bank account, your own trust bank account constantly. I choose to show up today. Owning your mistakes and living in alignment with yourself, living in alignment with your values. Here's some withdrawals. This will withdraw money out of any account. I tell you what, avoidance, over-promising. Here's a light example of that. Oh, let's have coffee sometime. And then the next time, we should have coffee sometime. And then you see them the next day, oh, we should have I'm like, when? They're over-promising and under-delivering. Or blame, resentment, or even saying yes when you really mean no. Let's slow this down. Okay, so here's the part we tend to miss, is that the first trust account that usually gets drained is your own. Every time you override your limits, you betray your values, you ignore your internal signals, you're just making a little withdrawal at your bank account. And then your little subconscious is, oh, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. So here's an example. You get somebody who their primary need is significance. And so what they do is everything they're doing is to feel significant. So maybe they're taking in the lessons and doing the training and they get it into their head, but in reality, they're not implementing in their life, but they really want to look like they're smart. And so they say all these concepts and they tell people these concepts, but they're not truly living in them. And so what happens is a misalignment in your subconscious happens and your subconscious stops trusting you. And when trust gets depleted, reactions get bigger, emotions get louder, life feels heavier. But here's the awesome part is your trust can be rebuilt. Trust with yourself, trust with others in relationship. It's not through justification. Here's why I did it. Here's why this happened this way. This is why I didn't show up. It's not through explanation, explaining it away. Is through consistent responsibility. And so I want to explain responsibility. Let me get my little notebook here. I need some paper. All right, so responsibility is on a continuum. So you got responsibility, and you've got, okay, so you got responsibility, oops, here, and you've got this continuance to, can you see that really well? Not really. Victimhood. Everybody is on this part of that continuum at all times. So you're either in responsibility or you're navigating your way into victimhood. So I want to draw you a little picture. This is universal. You'll love it. Think about your calendar this week. I know mine. Actually, Eliza knows. Eliza knows I do this to myself all the time. My calendar. I got meetings, obligations, commitments, responsibilities, and very little margin. I had this one day where I started at 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. This was just last week. And I didn't even put 5 minutes to go pee in between my meetings. It was that bad. So I could have a mindset about this. The fact, okay, so there's a fact. My calendar is full. Yes. There's no story yet, just the data. Okay, so my calendar is full. So let's interpret it for two different ways, shall we? Okay, so let's interpret it from the victimhood side first. Because that's, why not? Oh, God, everyone needs something from me. If I don't do it, it won't get done. This season is just insane. I really don't have a choice. I'll rest when things slow down. That's the most laughable one. I'll rest when things slow down. I've done that. That is my way of self-sabotage is, work before play, right? Work before play. And then, by the way, the work doesn't actually end. There's always something to do, isn't there? So here's the thing. It sounds logical. It sounds reasonable. It sounds noble, doesn't it? But it quietly removes your power. In this frame, the calendar becomes a cause of your stress. And it sure does. It became a cause of my stress. I'm like, what did I do to myself? Oh my gosh. So here's responsible interpretation. So wipe away that one. We're just going to, we're not going to do this victim one, right? Let's go to the responsible interpretation. Responsible will assign a meaning like this. I agreed to these commitments. And some of these yeses are very outdated. Maybe I should review them. I've been prioritizing urgency over alignment. I haven't protected my time and my energy. I can renegotiate, delegate, and eliminate. This is exactly what I did. I said, okay, time out. Where can I move some stuff on my calendar to create some gap? And I did a little bit better this week, not enough better, honestly. We have to just walk and fall. Just like toddlers, we got to practice this stuff. But here's the thing. Same calendar, same facts. My schedule is full, but completely different power. I'm going to use Candace as an example too, real quick, because it was so real. Her flight was canceled. And she could be, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. I'm not even everything is wrong and the plane's not going to be, what do I do now? She could totally be a victim in this. This is totally taking my day. And it was so funny because she texted me that her flight was canceled. And immediately I just felt like it just dropped in me. It's awesome. One more day in Dubai. Totally cool because I get to go to Unshakable Life Community tonight instead of being on a plane. Totally cool. Rebecca can actually just move my appointment with her to one day later. No worries. I get one more day. And she didn't say this to me, but I know what's going on in her little head. She just had this week of like firsts. Her theme is I'm going to experience as many firsts as I can in my life. And am I right, Candace? She experienced some firsts. I saw the girl on a camel on the highest tower in Dubai. I've been following that journey. It's been amazing. Now I want to go to my husband's. I would never think of going to Dubai. And I'm like, I think I would now. But you think about it, she could have taken victim. Oh, I can't believe they canceled my flight and now it's all messed up and now I have to do. Or she'd be like, awesome. Another day to have another first. Think about that. Responsibility doesn't mean you cause everything on your calendar. Responsibility doesn't mean that Candace caused her delay. Not at all. She doesn't get blamed for that. It just simply means that you're the one who decides who gets the say on what's next. This is where we can get trapped sometimes, guys. You confuse your capacity with your calling. Just because you can carry it doesn't mean you should. But sometimes victimhood feels safer because it avoids confrontation. Responsibility feels uncomfortable because it creates freedom. So I want you to just think for a moment, one area of your life right now where you feel pressure, resentment, fatigued. Mine actually is my calendar. I used a real life example. And I'm like, what in the world am I thinking the way I'm scheduling this? And what's sad is this has happened in the last couple of weeks and I haven't done enough about it, have I? That's responsibility. I'm not a victim to my calendar. So, think of one area of your life where you feel pressure, resentment, or fatigue. Okay, what actually happened? Without adjectives, without interpretation, what is the fact? Like for Candace, the fact was her plane got canceled, had to get rescheduled. For example, my calendar is fully booked. Those are facts, right? You say, like I can say, my schedule has commitments 5 nights this week. Something like that. If I'm going to be a victim, I'll be like, people are just taking advantage of me. They just want to meet with me all the time. They expect so much out of me. Okay, so you're thinking of a time. What story have you been telling about why this is happening to you? And who or what have you been blaming? Because the minute the word fault comes into something, you're into victimhood. Whose fault is it? Now, blame is just victimhood. You can ask the responsibility questions now. What part of this is mine to own? Quite frankly, I went through a terrible church split a while back. It did happen to me, but what was my part? I was passive. I didn't confront soon enough. I didn't take action fast enough. And I was, keep people no matter what. Just keep them. And ultimately it led to losing them. Part of that is mine to own. Same in friendships. Same in your marital relationship. You might think you're the victim, but what part is yours to own? What choice did I make that led me here? What am I continuing out of fear, habit, or obligation? Habit. Oh my gosh. It's not Lord of the Rings, guys. Fear, habit, or obligation. What would moving just 10 degrees, 10 little percent towards responsibility actually look like? What would full responsibility look like? It's not about perfection. It's just a little shift that changes your momentum. See, the more you're on the responsibility side, now I want to remind you that doesn't mean you're to blame or that it was your fault. It's not about perfection. It's just little shifts that take you away from the victim towards those empowering responsibility. So, what's one real action this week you could take? Now, I'm going to send you to breakout rooms for that. It's like, for me, do I need to delegate? Do I need to move my schedule along? Do I need to take ownership and responsibility that I overbooked myself and just show up and deal with that and manage my state in the meantime? Guys, this is a pathway to emotional resilience times 100. If you want emotional resilience on steroids, this is it. This is your moment. Life is happening for you, not to you. So what do we need to do? Remove something that no longer aligns? For me, maybe blocking out, and if you look on my daily debriefs, I need to block out 5 minutes in my schedules to rejuvenate and get moving around, do something different. I had that just happen yesterday. I had a 5-hour meeting and there was not a break in sight. And when I got done with that, I was exhausted and cranky with my family. And I whoa, time out. Mom needs to take a little bit of it. And I explained it. I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I'm going to go and get a brain break here. I need to have a brain break. I think that's how I said it to my hubby. This was a little much. Okay, so we're going to move you into breakout rooms. It's not going to be about venting. It's about training that muscle of responsibility. And so I'm going to stick some stuff into, okay. Amber, no, I didn't. I'm gonna make you. Okay. All right. So Amber, if you want to make breakout rooms, Amy can she's driving, so she needs to just be in with other people where she can listen. Make sure. Oh, thank you, Andrew, for pointing out the book name. That was awesome. Okay. So let me grab the things we're going to talk through today. Okay, so I want you to just work through 3 things. Oops, that was not a good copy paste. Okay, so what I want you to work through is fact versus story. What is one situation you feel pressure or frustration around? What are the facts? Like me, my schedule is fully booked. Or like Candace, her plane was canceled. That's the fact. That is the thing you're not in charge of. Okay? But the thing you are in charge of is the meaning that you give it. Okay? What commitment, habit, pattern did you choose that you may need to renegotiate, delegate, or release? Ownership. And then what's one concrete action you'll take this week that moves you towards responsibility, rebuilds trust with yourself and our others? Okay? So think about this. Every time you don't follow through on an action, you're losing trust with yourself. Every time you play the victim instead of moving towards responsibility, you're losing trust with your own subconscious. And so I want you to be able to regain your full bank account of trust with yourself, which will help you show up differently to receive a full bank account of trust with other people. Okay? So I know this was a little bit more of a harder lesson, right? But it's so important. This is about implementation today. Big time. So on the continuum, are you going to choose to be victim? Or are you going to choose to be responsible? All right, go ahead, Amber. You want to send them out to breakout rooms? I'm excited for what they'll have. Here they go.